Hello, and welcome back to MoJo JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the one and only Powerpuff Girls / JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
Today we are going to be discussing the season 2 episodes, Twisted Sister and Cover Up. And after this episode, we only have 2 more left with Powerpuff Girls, and we will be switching back to talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We're going to be talking about the first half of Part 3, Stardust Crusaders. I'm going to start talking about Twisted Sister. It's Sunday and everyone is relaxing except for the Powerpuff Girls, who must fight a giant tentacled monster, save a man from being mugged by the Gangrene Gang, stop a train from being derailed, save a window washer from falling to his death, shrink a meteor with their laser eye beams, and various other heroic tasks. They do all of this during the course of one day and are exhausted from their efforts. They collapse at home, but the professor comes in the room to list off their many chores. The hotline rings as he does so, and Bubbles proclaims that their power pooped. They know they're overworked, but aren't sure what to do until one of them decides to go into Professor's lab and read his explanation of how he created them, called How I Did It, very similarly titled to the O.J. Simpson book. They need sugar, spice, and everything nice, but also chemical X. Bubbles can't find sugar, so she uses artificial sweetener. Buttercup brings dirt and twigs instead of spice, and all three put in their favorite things, such as computers and flowers and lizards. Then they, in very staged voices, pretend to accidentally add the chemical X into the concoction. They are blasted across the room, and when they look up, they see their large, crooked-toothed creation. She cannot speak very well and makes a strange noise instead of saying a name. Blossom says that's a little hard to pronounce, and Bubbles suggests Bunny, and the girls plus Bunny start bunny hopping around the lab. Bunny hops a little too hard, though, so they ask her to stop. Blossom explains to Bunny that she has a lot of responsibilities as a superhero, and Buttercup says that she'll need to catch bad guys and beat them up. So Bunny flies off to go on patrol. She comes across cops aiming their guns at robbers, and thinking that the cops are the bad guys, she throws them in jail. The girls relax at home when a news report comes on saying that one of the Powerpuff Girls has gone muy loco and is imprisoning the police and freeing the criminals. The girls are horrified and go off to find Bunny. When they get there, they tell her she's done bad and she's not cut out to be a Powerpuff Girl. Bunny flies off in distress, but as she does so, the other 3 girls are getting their asses handed to them by the newly released criminals. Bunny sobs to herself, but hears her sisters are in trouble and flies to their rescue. She beats up the bad guys and saves the day, but at a cost. Because she was so unstable, she blew up and turned back into her original ingredients. The girls and narrator mourn Bunny, and the narrator calls for commercial break because he's so sad. The episode was named Twisted Sister, much like the band. This is Bunny's first and only appearance. This is the second episode to feature a character death, the first, of course, being the Rowdy Rough Boys. This is the only episode to show Chemical X as neon blue instead of black. It is one of Craig McCracken's top 10 favorite episodes. Bunny was voiced by the late Christine Cavanaugh, the original voice of Dexter, of Dexter's Laboratory fame. This episode, along with Cover Up, earned a primetime Emmy for Outstanding Achievement in Animation for Don Shanks in 2000. And then this one I saw to celebrate the episode's 28th anniversary. Over 117 animators participated in a reanimated collaboration for the show on YouTube. And I will try to remember to link that in show notes because those are always cool when animators decide to do a collab like that. I don't think I've watched it yet, but I made sure to find it and get the link down.
Usually when we have a new character, I know, I don't think Bunny ever is shown again, but I like to describe what they look like, because some people, I don't know. I don't know why you would listen if you haven't watched the episode, but so I thought Bunny kind of looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like the Disney one, sort of. And she was a lot bigger than the girls. And her color, she was sort of dressed like the girls, but her color was purple, like a light purple. And then she had a brown ponytail and bangs. And she was pretty snaggletooth. Like, one of them said something about that she needed braces.
Buttercup. It was Buttercup.
But she kind of had lips like Mr. Bill, because the girls don't have lips, so it was very noticeable, like the
Yeah.
lips that she had. But I just felt really bad for Bunny. Like, she was technically like their sister because she's created the same way, and they didn't really get to know her, and they just sort of sent her to fight crime, and she didn't really know what she was doing.
Yeah.
And then they got mad at her, but she was literally just born.
Yeah.
Like, she seemed to understand. They're just like, you understand? And she's like, yeah. And then she goes off. But I guess she had some understanding. They could have at least, like, went with her the first time, or, like, had her, like, maybe go around with them for a week, see what, like, their normal stuff is.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Bunny probably would have, like, exploded, I guess, either way. But I just felt sad for her because
Yeah.
they didn't really treat her super well.
She was just so sweet and innocent, and she just wanted to help out.
Yeah. I felt like she kind of reminded me of Big Billy from Gangrene Gang when, I'm not sure what episode was it. It had the word, I think it said something about slave in it.
Yes, Slave the Day.
When they saved him and he wanted to be their butler, and he was a little over enthusiastic, but he's just like he could have been a nice person, maybe given the right direction.
Right.
And I'm not sure what my point is now, but it just sort of, it's a similar thing happening. He just wished to, like, help out in everything.
Yeah. I do think these are both cute episodes, but it was very sad for poor Bunny. I don't even know how long she got to live. I don't even know if she got to live like a full 24 hours before she exploded.
Yeah, maybe they could have involved the professor. I mean, I think he accidentally created the girls in the first place, although I think that was his goal, though, right? Was to create little girls.
Yes.
And it's like, well, could the girls explode one day? But maybe, I think they just put too much stuff in there, possibly, too.
I think it's because they didn't have the right ingredients, because it was like artificial sweetener, and then like bugs and twigs and dirt and twigs, and then just whatever random stuff that they enjoy.
Well, I mean, like the Rowdy Rough Boys, they were created and it wasn't. I mean, I think they were kind of taking a chance there too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just going from the poem, but I feel like it maybe could have been okay. But yeah, like substituting the sugar, maybe it was too much or too little chemical X. But I think maybe they could have talked to Professor and been like, hey, we'd like another sister, or we'd like more siblings.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have agreed, but maybe would have it would have turned out more stable and not exploded. Professor didn't even know she existed, right?
No, he didn't. He was just at the beginning of the episode to tell them about all the chores they still needed to do.
Yeah, and that was kind of a jerky move on his part, too. Because I'm sure, like, we've seen other episodes where he watches the news. I'm sure he's seen everything that they do.
Yeah.
And, like, I get they probably should do certain chores, but that seemed like a really big list.
Absolutely. He kept droning on and on.
And they're only 5.
Yeah. They're just little babies. It's so rude. They're so overworked and so small.
They need to find out what's causing all this crap to happen in their town.
Yeah. They live on a hellmouth or something.
There are all these constant monsters, and
yeah.
I mean, this list this time I don't think included MoJo, so it wasn't even like that it was MoJo doing stuff that particular day or week. I'm not sure if that was just on like Sunday, right? All that stuff happened.
Yes.
And then they came home, and Professor's like, "Well, you."
He seemed way too delighted about all the stuff that they still had to do. I did not enjoy that. I didn't enjoy that he seemed that delighted, I mean.
I can't remember what all the stuff was. I'm not sure if it's like shit he could have done.
Well, probably, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if it's just like cleaning up after their own messes. Like, that's probably all really a 5-year-old should be doing.
Right.
But if it was like stuff that he's just delegating to them, like after the day that they had. That was ridiculous. And this is kind of like at least the second time where they've been like, we're exhausted.
Yes. In the same season, even. They really do need to find someone or something else to help them out. Because there are just 3 of them, and they're small children. I don't understand that the town just puts all their faith and all their, I don't want to say it. I don't know. I'm blanking. But they just put everything into just having these 3 take care of the whole town.
It did look at least like in this episode that the cops were trying to like actually do crime fighting or whatever. At least they weren't sitting back.
For once.
They weren't sitting back. But yeah, I'm not really sure what the solution is because it does just seem like a lot of crap happens in their town. I don't know if they can try to employ another superhero to come, or like Professor could make more Powerpuff Girls. But yeah, they need times to just be little girls, and they need like time to sleep and stuff. So, I mean, it should just be them taking care of stuff that the people literally cannot take care of.
Yeah.
Not to open the mayor's pickle jar or whatever stupid thing
Yeah.
he comes up with.
Honestly, if he really has that much trouble with the pickle jar, he could just get Miss Bellum to do it. She's his secretary. She's kind of there to do busy work.
Well, that's rude.
Well, I mean, that's sort of her job. Zero offense to Miss Bellum, but she does also, like, she's really the one in charge, of course, but, like, in the meantime...
I'm offended for Miss Bellum. So's Bert. Bert's super offended.
I'm sorry, Bert.
You're probably taking a poop right now.
Probably.
These episodes aired May 26, 2000. The next episode is Cover Up. The girls keep the city safe. Blossom and Bubbles sit back as Buttercup takes care of criminals. The hotline rings about a monster, and Buttercup is slow to leave their room and seems to be hiding what she was doing. They fight a robot who shoots a beam from his mouth. I don't really know how to explain. Like, if he had, like, a laser coming from his mouth, I don't know what was going on there.
Maybe.
Buttercup breaks it up into smithereens. They are called to help again, but can't wait for Buttercup when a green and yellow monster with red claws attacks Townsville. It tries to eat a train, but the girls struggle without Buttercup. When Buttercup shows up, she electrocutes the creature and uses its own claw to chop it up. That was, like, pretty brutal.
Yes, I was like, wow.
The girls question where she was. When it happens again, the girls look for Buttercup and find her in a closet holding a mint green blanket, whispering, "I am a good fighter," over and over. Bubbles and Blossom giggle when she says it helps her fight. They fight all day and come home and congratulate Buttercup on her fighting, and again she says it's because of her blankie. They get another call from the mayor, but it's interrupted by a scream from Buttercup as she frantically tears up the house looking for the blanket. She cries uncontrollably. They drag her away to help with the newest monster, a small, muscular fish-like monster with a sonic scream. This causes a nuclear blast. Buttercup has no confidence in fighting, and the fish punches her and Sonic screams her into the pavement. The monster advances on Buttercup and Blossom, returns with the blanket, and Buttercup punches the fish into next week. The town cheers as Buttercup hugs her blanket. Blossom reveals it was a fake blanket and that proves it has no power. Buttercup is angry and throws a tantrum when the professor comes in with a basket of laundry that contains the blanket. While excited at first, after looks from her sister, she gives the blanket to Professor, who says blanket helped him do his greatest experiment ever. He says, "I am a good scientist," over and over. The narrator calls Professor a superstitious kook, then proceeds to say, "I am a good narrator," over and over. I don't have a whole lot of trivia, just that this is like the first time Buttercup cries, and then there was kind of like a fake Pikachu in one of the scenes.
Indeed.
But it seemed like with these, like, the girls were like really dependent on Buttercup like kicking butt. I'm not sure why they were having so much trouble on their own.
Yeah.
They were just sitting back and letting her do it. I don't know if she just wanted to, or I don't totally understand that part.
Yeah, because I feel like they're all equally strong, at least. I know some of them have like different powers than the others, but I feel like their super strength is about equal, and so they definitely could have helped out if they wanted to.
I mean, what's the point of them all going if they're just gonna sit and watch her do it?
Yeah, maybe Buttercup should be the one complaining about being overworked, and not all three of them.
So I don't know. Maybe that's why she kind of got a little fixated on the blanket. Because, like, she was the only one really accomplishing anything. I don't know.
Yeah, and like she thought it was like a good luck talisman of some kind. She's also the only one we see fighting in this episode.
Kind of what I meant.
Yeah, because no one else like does anything. They don't lift a finger pretty much until like Blossom goes and gets that fake blanket for her. And then I saw this as part of trivia. It says there's a live action series also called Cover Up in which the theme song Holding Out for a Hero is sung by E.G. Daily, Buttercup's voice actor. I tried to find that on Spotify, but I could not find it to add it to the playlist.
I guess I don't really have much to say about this episode. I feel like Buttercup was probably the one least likely of the three to have like a good luck blankie. I could see Bubbles, and I'm not sure if could see Blossom doing it, but
There's sort of a comic where Blossom's bow is kind of like her blankie in a way.
I could sort of maybe see Blossom, like, I don't know, like she's kind of like the anal retentive one, and like maybe she might have like where she has to do something a certain way, like she has to have the same socks on or whatever. I don't know. I could maybe see her.
Yeah, maybe. Definitely see her being like superstitious, but like maybe not over like something that she would find to be like too little kid like or something.
Yeah, the blankie was like a little babyish. Maybe if it was like a different item for Buttercup, maybe it would make more sense to me.
Yeah, like I could definitely, if someone was like, which Powerpuff Girl has a security blanket, I'd probably be like, Bubbles, if I hadn't seen this episode.
Yeah. But that might have been kind of the point, was
Yeah.
like to have the least likely one to have it.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the times the Buttercup centric episodes are kind of like to show that she does have a softer side. Like the episode where she had a crush on Ace from Gang Green Gang, and then this one.
Yeah. I don't know about the one where she doesn't want to take a bath though.
Yeah, I
Softer side.
I wouldn't say that. That more shows how stubborn she is.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised the other girls were maybe kind of mean to her about it. Let's just see if they were like 10 and she had a blanket, but they're 5.
Yeah, they're like the right age to still have like a security blanket. I guess I kind of felt like, that they laughed at her because they didn't like expect something like that out of Buttercup since she has like her like badass exterior or whatever. So then they thought it was funny that she still needed a safety blanket. But that was just my interpretation. So yeah, I think that about wraps up the episode. Thank you all so much for listening. And if you haven't already, it would be super cool if you could if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're listening to this on, say, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, subscribe and leave us a review. We could definitely use some feedback. We'd love to hear from everyone what they enjoy about the show, the podcast itself, or just Powerpuff Girls in general.
And we do have another podcast, What We Pod in the Shadows. We covered the 6th season because it was just aired recently. It was the final season, but we are now working on starting back at the beginning with season 1. Those episodes should drop. Did you say the end of January?
Yes, towards the end of January. I want to say January 26th. I could be wrong though, but it's a Sunday at like 9:30.
Anyway, we really enjoy that show. It's kind of one of the few comedies that we've watched all the way through, and it's a fun watch.
It's a very fun and chaotic watch. So thank you again for listening. Until next time, I'll be the roundabout. Goodbye.
Goodbye.